5 surprising things making your home look cluttered and how to fix them fast. Have you ever cleaned your entire home, top to bottom, only to stand back and feel nothing? The surfaces are wiped, the floors are vacuumed, but a strange sense of chaos, a hidden weight, still hangs in the air. You're not imagining it. This is the paradox of quiet clutter, the invisible enemy making your clean home feel messy and secretly suffocating your peace of mind. It's not about dirt. It's about the emotional weight of things that no longer serve you. Over the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain on the 5 surprising culprits behind this hidden chaos. These aren't the obvious messes you already know about. These are the silent stressors, the objects you see every day, maybe even cherish, that have become sources of anxiety. We'll show you not only what they are, but also the shockingly fast fixes you can use to reclaim your space and your calm. And a warning. One of these, a common household item you probably trust, might just be the biggest traitor of all. So let's begin. Our story starts by focusing on the most deceptive form of this clutter, something almost everyone has but no one suspects. The scene is a dining room table, not messy, but dominated by a few seemingly organized objects. The paper prison, stacks that steal your serenity. It begins with a story I'll never forget. I was visiting a 78-year-old man named Carl, who had 6 identical folders sitting on his otherwise pristine dining room table. Each was neatly labeled with a single, commanding word, important. He would dust them every week. His hand would hover over them, a flicker of anxiety in his eyes, before moving on. I finally had to ask what crucial documents they held. He stared at them for a long moment, the silence stretching out, before his voice dropped to a whisper. I'm not sure anymore. Those folders, once a symbol of control and preparation, had become monuments to paralysis. He was terrified to open them, to confront the possibility that the important tasks they represented had become irrelevant, or worse, forgotten. This is the silent trap of paper clutter. It's a prison built one sheet at a time. It rarely arrives in an avalanche. Instead, it seeps into our lives through the mail slot, the grocery bag, the school backpack. It's the stack of envelopes you'll open later, the magazines you plan to read, the receipts, old bills, and expired coupons. We think holding on to it gives us control, but when the piles grow, that illusion shatters. It starts feeling like the papers are controlling us. Each stack represents unfinished business, a quiet and constant hum of mental noise that subtly screams, "You're not done yet." This psychological burden is devastatingly real. Consider Carol, 68, whose mail chair in her living room hadn't been sat in for years. It was no longer a place for rest but a receptacle for her guilt. The tension finally broke when she confessed, her voice cracking, "That chair makes me feel like I'm always behind, always failing to catch up." The feeling is overwhelming, but the fix is not. The resolution for both Carl and Carol was the same. A timer set for just 10 minutes. That's it. If this feels familiar, try this right now. Don't wait. Set a timer, tackle one pile, and feel the shift. For them, the initial dread gave way to action. The satisfying whir of the shredder became the sound of freedom. They created a single, small tray by the door for current mail only. They weren't just sorting paper. They were reclaiming their minds. Afterward, Carol sat in her new chair, a sense of liberation washing over her. But as she relaxed, her eyes drifted to a crowded shelf. The piece was fragile. She realized the paper was just the beginning. The tyranny of trinkets, when memories become monsters. As Carol's relief settled, her gaze landed on the mantelpiece, and a cold dread washed over her. The real battle wasn't with paper. It was with her memories, solidified in porcelain and glass. If paper is the mind's clutter, this is the soul's. This is the tyranny of trinkets. Think about Helen, 81, whose living room was home to over 150 ceramic birds. A vibrant, colorful flock. Each one was a memory, a trip with her husband, a gift from her children, a moment in time. But when I visited, she made a heartbreaking admission. "I don't really see them anymore. They're just noise." This is the emotional paradox of sentimental clutter. These objects are meant to be sparks of joy, But when every surface is covered, they stop telling stories and merge into an overwhelming visual wall. The light in the room seems to struggle, getting caught in a sea of glass eyes and porcelain wings. The joy becomes an obligation, a dusty army you have to manage. What's happening underneath the surface is a constant drain on your energy. Your brain, whether you realize it or not, is always working to process the stimuli around you. It's a low-level static buzzing just beneath your consciousness. For Helen, the joy she had so carefully collected had become nothing more than background noise. The solution wasn't to erase her history, but to honor it. The suggestion was simple. Choose your favorite 12. Not 30, not 50, just 12. Let them have their own stage, a curated display where they could truly shine. The rest? She gently boxed them up. As she packed, she set aside one small, plain box. She ran a hand over it, a faint, cryptic smile touching her lips. That one, she whispered, is just for me. The box and its secret were tucked away, an open loop of a story only she knew. The impact was immediate. Her room looked bigger, felt lighter. With room to breathe, the stories of her chosen 12 could finally be heard. But as she admired her newly honored collection, a massive shadow loomed in the corner, cast by an object so large and familiar it had become invisible. It wasn't a memory. It was a monument, and it was absorbing all the new light she had just created. The furniture fortress, trapped by tables and chairs. Some clutter you can't just put in a box. Sometimes it's the biggest thing in the room. This brings us to Walter, 77, who shuffled past the massive sectional sofa he'd bought with his late wife in the 90s. It was a fortress of memories, a floral-patterned beast that took up nearly the entire living room. But it had also become his prison. The psychology of oversized furniture is profound. It dictates how you move, how you live. To get to the window, Walter had to squeeze past a coffee table. To let a guest pass, he had to stand flush against the wall. This constant, subtle physical tension keeps your body in a state of alert, weighing on your mood without you ever realizing it. His home, meant to be a comfort, had become an obstacle course. The climax for Walter came when his friend, who used a walker, couldn't visit anymore. There simply wasn't enough room to navigate. His furniture, meant to facilitate a life, was now actively preventing it. He realized his space was designed for a lifestyle he no longer lived, for hosting parties of 20 that no longer happened. It was serving a memory, not the man living there now. The fix was daunting but necessary: downsizing. He sold the massive sectional online. In its place, he bought 2 smaller, comfortable armchairs and a sleek side table. The day they were delivered, Walter stood in the middle of his living room and just laughed. "I didn't realize I had this much floor," he exclaimed, spreading his arms wide. He could walk in a straight line from his door to his window for the first time in a decade. He reveled in the newfound space, in the light that now flooded the room. He felt he could finally breathe. But as he stood there, enjoying the freedom at his feet, his eyes were drawn upward. He had cleared the ground, but he now saw that the clutter hadn't been banished. It had just been climbing the walls, the crowded walls. When decor becomes a distraction, this sense of being weighed down is not limited to what sits on the floor. Sometimes the most oppressive clutter climbs the walls. Decorating can evolve from a matter of design to one of memory accumulation. Every item tells a story, but when too many stories compete for attention, they create a chaotic chorus instead of a harmonious whole. This was the case for Frank, an 81-year-old man whose home was a testament to a life fully lived. Every inch of his wall space was covered. Family photos from bygone eras, polished military awards, souvenir decorative plates, and old calendars. The dense collection of wall decor had become a part of the background, unnoticed until his niece visited. After looking around the room, she asked a devastatingly simple question that cut through the noise. "Uncle Frank, why does your house look so full, but feel so empty?" That question lingered long after she left, echoing in the crowded silence of his home. For the first time, Frank saw the visual competition playing out on his walls. Instead of a comforting gallery, He had created an overstimulating environment where no single memory could be properly appreciated. Each piece fought for attention, and the result was an anxious, restless atmosphere. His attempt to honor history had ironically created an empty feeling, proving that when too many objects vie for importance, their individual significance is lost. He'd walk past them daily, a silent roll call of his own life, yet he felt disconnected from it all. Her words forced him to confront a difficult truth. His shrine to the past was preventing him from living peacefully in the present. The tension built until one afternoon he decided he had to act. He reached for a single plaque, a minor award from years ago. As he lifted it from its hook, he felt the wall take a symbolic breath. But beneath it, a surprise was waiting. He saw the faint, faded outline of a child's drawing that had been hidden underneath for decades. A simple, smiling sun. The image sparked a long-forgotten memory of his young daughter drawing it on the wall before it was painted over. That hidden moment of pure joy, buried beneath a formal decoration, became the turning point. It wasn't about erasing his past, but about giving the most important parts of it the space they deserved. Over the next few days, he carefully curated the items on his walls, selecting a few truly meaningful pieces. A single wedding photograph, his most significant military honor, and one cherished landscape painting his wife had loved. Each item was chosen not for its monetary value, but for the clarity of the joy it sparked. The rest were carefully boxed and stored. The room's atmosphere transformed from heavy and cluttered to peaceful and open. He would often sit and look at a single, cherished photograph on a now clear wall, a sense of finality and deep calm settling over him. His experience reveals a profound truth about the spaces we inhabit and the peace we seek within them. Reclaiming your peace. It's not about a clean home, it's about a clear mind. Let's get one thing straight. Your home is not a warehouse for your past. It is the headquarters for your present. This entire process, all these stories, they aren't about throwing your life away. They are about choosing which parts of it you want to honor now. This is an act of self-respect. It's about giving yourself room to breathe, to move, to live without being weighed down by the person you used to be. If any of this has felt familiar, the mail chair, the crowded shelves, the feeling of being trapped, hit that like button right now. You are not alone in this. The goal isn't a perfect, minimalist home. The goal is progress, not perfection. It is about creating a space that serves you today and gives you a clear mind for tomorrow. When your environment is calm, your energy is reclaimed. You're no longer managing stuff, you're living your life. You have earned the right to wake up in a space that lifts you up. Don't let another day go by feeling hemmed in by your own history. The change you want begins with one small action. Not tomorrow, today. Choose one surface. Select one item that no longer serves you. Let it go, and feel that immediate ripple of relief. Let me know in the comments, what's the one thing you're going to tackle after watching this? I read every single one. And while you're feeling that motivation, subscribe and turn on notifications. You're not just cleaning your home. You're reclaiming your life, and our journey together is just getting started.